Hello and welcome to my fifth, I believe, IB project progress update. Um, this week I have done a surprising amount. This actually took a lot of work to do for some reason, mainly from it just being a little funky. So I've added aiming down sights to the game. It's very, very basic at the moment, but it is there. I have in the scripts, here, hang on, I'll show you. I have in this file, I have the aim speed and zoom ratio things, so like it can take time to aim in and you can zoom in a little bit extra. But let me just show you what happens when I do that. So if I set this to like 1,000, that's fine. And if I, well, actually, negative 1,000. And then if I set the zoom ratio to like negative 1.5, because if I set it to regular 1.5, no, the zoom ratio doesn't even work anymore. If I set it to regular 1.5, let me see if that'll work. Like you zoom out, actually, it's kind of weird. And if I set this to regular 1,000, it just zooms in on its own. So we're gonna reset these back to 0. So to do this, I created a bunch of empty game objects, which are AKM and M4 default position, as well as ADS position. These are parent and children. This is just makes it a whole lot easier to do some stuff. I've also added a way for the character to or the player to swap weapons. This is temporary and extremely rudimentary. Basically, what I did is I created. Actually, if we go into this script, so in the player fire start script, I cannot put it in the gun script because if I were to disable like these game objects like I'm doing to get them out of the way, then like the script wouldn't be accessible and it would just stop working entirely. So we have the ADS position, relax position, player camera. I'll show you why I need that. Active weapon, gun data, transform for the active weapon position, FOV. That's just a random thing. ADS button. I don't need this anymore. So this is a true false statement here. So I'm just checking, hey, did I hold the ADS button down? And then I have it transform to the ADS position from the default position. And then I just have it do the opposite when you let go and the FOV changes and stuff. To make these triggers, I created a new script that's like a script that I can use on a bunch of other stuff. For right now, because I didn't want to have to iterate through a layer because that sounds not fun. I've added a gun to be disabled and gun to be enabled script. So the gun to be enabled, I'll just go over that. The gun to be enabled one is gonna stay for a while because it's the one that you have to enable. This one is probably gonna change to some way for me to iterate through the layer because Unity does not provide in its own libraries a way to go into a layer and disable everything in that layer. And the reason I would want to do that is because I can have all the guns on the same layer of equipable, and then I can just go through the entire layer and disable every single one of them, and then just go back and re-enable the one that I actually need. So let me show you how the thing over here works. All it is it's a trigger. If we go into the scene view, you can see triggers are there. All I did was I disabled the mesh, I disabled the material here, and I clicked the is trigger thing here. So it makes it so that there's no real collider, but it can still detect collision. And so if the player were to hop in here, they get the M4 with full ammo, and it ADS is fine and stuff. And since you're already ADSing, if you go in here, stuff shoots, and the barrel actually does transform with it. So if I go over to our target, the if I'm ADSing in on it, the barrel will change position, so it'll work like that. Now, when I do reload, for some reason, it hates this, but when I do reload while having one of them disabled, it says coroutine couldn't be started because model was missing, or model is inactive. And that's just something that's I'm gonna have to deal with. It doesn't cause any issues from what I can tell. But if it does start causing issues, then it's getting removed. So, God. Other than that, this was pretty easy. This is just calling for the player. So this is it's calling for the player game object. It's finding the component named player fire start, and then it's editing these. This took like 5 minutes to do. The ADS took like 2 hours. It was not fun. Other than that, I think that's it. The most painful part of adding new weapons, from what I can tell, is going to be figuring out the ADS position, because it's going to change for all the different models. Because from model to model, the iron sights are going to be different, so the player will have to look through it differently, and that's just getting numbers set up right and then reconfiguring everything, and it's not great to do. Other than that, I believe that's it. Thank you, and goodbye.